host, Matt Lancer, voice of Anakin Skywalker here. You're watching the Super Awesome Geek Show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Super Awesome Geek Show. But today, it's not really just the Super Awesome Geek Show. Today, it's the Super Awesome Comic Book Show. And we've got Chip with us. Hey, Chip.
Hey, hello. How are you doing?
How you doing? Duff Man's here. Hey, Duff Man. And Geek
Duff?
Strong. Let's do this. How you doing, Geek Strong? How you doing, Duff Man? Hope you guys are well. So, Chip, today we're going to talk comics. What do you think of that?
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Something I'm a little more familiar with than I am with the toys. Beyond the Black Series, I'm dead when it comes to toys. I have one toy where I got the Evel Knievel. You wind it up and it takes off. I got that, and that's probably that in a little Mattel football game. Other than that, yeah.
Oh, those Mattel football games are cool.
Yeah. The little red dot.
Left Coast claims all the hammerheads. All right.
There you go.
Comic books. I like comic books. So basically what I want to do, I did this for a little while, and Brandon, Chili Gamer Boy and Apprentice Ewok and Icebox Comics, he's all those things.
Yeah.
Him and I used to get on and talk comics every once in a while on a weeknight. And I enjoyed it, but Brandon got really busy, and I was thinking, the whole time that I was kind of on a break from doing a lot of stuff and putting out content, I was thinking the whole time, like, how could we do, like, what would I really want to do with a comic book live stream? Because I watch a lot of comic book YouTubers, you know what I mean? And sometimes just random stuff. I mean, there's 3 or 4 guys that I follow, and then there's a couple of random ones that I just kind of stumble upon when I'm just looking for comic things to watch or do. And I kind of like the idea of going over like what your pickups are for the week, you know?
Oh yeah.
So I thought I might just come on every Wednesday night after I get done at the comic store and show what I picked up, why I picked it up, and then maybe every once in a while talk about something special. Like today we got a story on one of my greatest finds out in the wild, and I don't know if you have a story. I'm putting you on the spot, but I don't know if you have a story like that you can talk about too. And then
I have a couple of stories. I guess I could try to throw in one.
Yeah, like I just watched this guy. Oh, what was his name? It was pretty. He's a really nice guy, and it was pretty awesome that he stumbled upon this. For him, it was a grail, a grail find. Where was he? What was he? Found in the basement. It's Lunch Money Comics. Do you know that guy?
No, I don't. No, I've never heard of him.
Have a good day. Start the morning with chorizos.
Play a commercial while I'm doing this. Yeah, Lunch Money Comics. He so I look him up if you haven't heard of him.
Yeah. Well, I'll have
he
to check
he's like a garage sailor guy and estate sales, and just goes to like bargain basement things, goes to like school gymnasiums and whatever he can find, community sales, and he hunts for those comics that are like in the quarter bins and 50-cent bins, and so he's like lunch money,
yeah,
and tries to get the best comics he can get for his lunch money. But he's very, very nice and very honest. And he told a story that I watched yesterday about a guy that he bumped into at a garage sale, and he bought a number of comics off the guy, and the guy had like a box where he was like, yeah, everything's like $1. And he tried explaining, and the guy was like an old guy, like in his late 60s or something. And he tried explaining, which isn't, for us, that's getting not too far off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm sure we can relate with this. But he was buying comics his whole life. Well, when he was younger, his whole childhood and into his teenage years. And he just put them all in the basement. And he's at a point in his life where he wants to sell them. He's approaching 70 and he wants to sell them. And the guy Lunchbox, Lunch Money Comics was like, you got a lot of stuff here that's worth a lot more than $1. Some of this stuff is worth $30, $40, $50, up to $100. And he was like, I don't feel right just paying you like a couple bucks for each comic. So he was real nice and real upfront with him.
Yeah.
And the guy, which I've run into this too with toys and stuff. When you're at a garage sale, sometimes people are just like, no, I just want to get rid of them. Just take them. What they're worth, and they're gonna. Are you gonna keep them? Or are they going to? Are you gonna resell them? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep them. They're like, okay, then just you get them for a deal. And I tried to throw extra dollars at them. Like the lady who had a blue snaggletooth. I tried to give her an extra $20 because it was like, you can't walk away spending $4 on the damn thing or something, But, So he was the same way. And when he got home, he realized, so the guy sold him like 400 comic books. And he was just piling them in the back of his car in these boxes. And then when he got home, he realized the guy had thrown in about 800 comics instead of 400. So the guy threw a couple extra boxes in there. And so he called him up and tried to give him more money because he found a few books in there that were keys and they were worth a couple $100. Yeah. And the guy said, no, but somewhere in the future, maybe I could have you help me go through with the rest of my comics that are in the basement. I've got like 40 or 50 boxes of stuff or whatever. And so he had it in his mind, like, man, I'd love to give this guy more money or help him out in some other way because he gave me such a good deal. And he did. And so his story goes that he was driving by one day and saw the guy out in the front lawn, and he stopped and gave him what cash money he had in his pocket. He was like, I still owe you money for those comics. And the guy went, oh yeah, I remember you, and he was like, and he's like, hey, I'm ready to go through those comics in the basement. Plus I got all these cards, trading cards. Can you look at those? So he set up a time to go over there and look. And long story short, he did a video as he was going through all the comics, and he found a Hulk 181 unbagged. These were a lot of these comics weren't even in bags. They were in shoe boxes. They were in like paper boxes. He found a Fantastic Four 48 and a whole bunch of other really good key comics. And he's like, some of these comics are worth thousands. And the guy was like, you can hear him. He's like, no, they're not. You're pulling my leg. And Lunchbox or Lunch Money's kind of laughing. He's like, no, because he's like, like, I can't believe I'm looking at this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's like, what the hell? And he goes, well, you're kind of smiling and laughing. You can't be serious. He goes, I am serious. And he started showing him on his phone, like, recent sales. And the guy, like, just about freaked out. It made his day. So they got together again and started going through some of the comics, and they made a deal. And for Lunch Money to help him sell them, he was going to help sell them. But during the course of talking and everything, the guy realized that two of Lunch Money's top 5 grails were in this collection, Hulk 181 and Fantastic Four 48. Yeah. So, even though street value, he may have got like $3,000 for those 2 books. The guy looked at him and said, what if we do half price and you buy them from me and then agree to help me go through the rest of the comics and try to sell them? Because he had to bag and board. He had to do so they ordered bags and boards off Amazon to get them shipped into the guy's house. And they made this, and he was like, that's a deal, dude. So he got those Grail pieces, because the guy was like, I can sell them to some unknown person for $3,000, or I can get help from you and do this, and you get the pieces you want. And I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off, because you've been so nice. Because originally he was going to go in and spend a couple $100 and buy some of this guy's comic collection. But then when he saw the Grail pieces, it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, you can't, I can't. He's like, I can't afford these, and I'm not going to rip. Because the guy had no idea that Hulk 181 was Wolverine's first appearance. So he goes, quite frankly, I would have sold that to someone for $20, not knowing that anything was about it. So since you're being so nice and telling me up front, but that these things are worth way more than I ever even dreamed, the guy was nice and just said, let's make a deal and let's get these in your hands rather than some stranger. And then also get you to help do the rest, Yeah. So I love those kind of stories, and it made me subscribe to the guy because he's such an honest and nice man. You know what I mean? And
check him out.
Yeah. And then I found like Legion of Comics I go check out.
Yep, Mark.
Find great stuff.
Mark
Yeah,
Hubbard.
Legion's one of your guys, right? You know Mark.
He's
right?
one of my guys. I actually, funny enough, the way I met Legion Comics was I ended up subscribing to Comic Tom 101 Mystery Box, and I ended up getting a bunch of Power Ranger. Like I got a exclusive Power Ranger white cover, whatever Power Ranger white is. I don't know, right? So I'm not, I don't watch that or whatever. And I ended up throwing it up on eBay, and I'm just like, I threw it up there for like $1 because I was like 99 cents. I'm like, I don't know, right? So I just threw it out there because I was just starting to collect at that point. I literally was just starting collecting, and that was the first thing I did was like, oh, I'll go out and I'll buy Comic-Con 101s and I'll open those on stream when I have my old channel. And that's what I started out doing. And he ended up buying it from me, and he's like, hey, I'm going to be making a video about this. If you want to check it out, here you go. Like, subscribe or check it out, and if, if it's or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, sure. Now him and I mean, they're like, he's like family to me now. I mean, it's
wow.
I'm constantly, I'm sending his kids gifts and sending him, Christmas presents, birthday presents, all that stuff. And, back and forth. I mean, really, he's one of the main reasons I went to the New North Carolina Comic-Con last year, the Heroes Con last year, and then this year again, because him and his dad go. And so I basically, consider them family now. So,
wow,
but yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so it's small how something like that, or even like you got, you and Mark and everyone else, and Bob and Dino and everybody else, and Chris. I mean, you guys are all been, small community, so it's very cool. So
yeah. And I love how these comic and toy community can overlap too. I really
exactly.
A lot of us, there's a chunk of us who are into both, and it's kind of cool to see that overlap. What the hell did I just do?
I don't know.
Somehow I just made my oh, Grim. I made my screen like I don't know what I did. All right, Chip has 2 awesome new and it doesn't even fit now. What the hell did I do?
I do have, that's all I got, just 2 toys. Although I did get some Legos from my birthday yesterday, which is pretty insane.
Oh, wow. Look at that. So did you know my laptop has the finger stretch ability?
I didn't know your laptop has that.
Did you know that some laptops do? That some laptops do?
Yes.
Yeah. So I stretched my screen.
Are you touching it on the screen, or are you touching it on the pad?
No, on my little pad. I don't know.
On the pad? Oh.
Does my screen have? No, my screen doesn't have touch pad.
Yeah, because I know some are touch screen as well. So, yeah.
I will go check his channel out right now. See you later.
Bye. It's nice knowing you.
Happy 66th birthday to Chip.
Thank you, Mr.
I can't believe you're 66. That's crazy, dude.
I can't either.
Connor's here. Hello,
Thank
Connor.
You, Connor. I appreciate that. And I'm not 66. He just likes throwing 10 years on my list.
Orlando.
Thanks, Orlando.
I love it when John tells his short story. Yeah, they're always really short
and snappy. Yep. Yeah. Yep.
I don't ramble or do anything. I remember buying The Death of Superman in the black bag. I thought I'd be able to retire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how I was with Dark Hawk.
I bought refined uranium for science experience. For now, we're like family too.
Yep.
Happy birthday yesterday.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that.
So did you so first off,
yes,
I did get some toys today. And I wanna bring up something that kind of pisses me off, but it's getting to be like a thing. Sure. But firstly, I'm not a turtles guy. I don't normally get turtles. Yeah. But there were two things from the old Turtles collection that I always loved. And they reproduced them. They put them out. Reese I saw them in the store today. $9.99. So these new Turtle retro figures are only $9.99. They're not bad at all for a price. But Genghis Frog was one of my favorite guys.
I've never seen him.
It's ridiculous. And how do I do this? Here we go. Genghis Frog.
It's too funny.
He's a frog mutant guy. And then the other one I always loved was Baxter here. Baxter Stockman as the Fly. And you got to put all the parts on him, but he makes a 6-armed fly guy.
Oh, and, pretty funny.
Yeah. I always loved these two. And at like when I saw them for just like I said, they're just $9.99. I was like, oh, I got to get them. I'm gonna leave them in the packaging. I'm just gonna leave them the way they are and hang them up on the wall here.
Do you have like the others? Like, do you have like?
Well, I have the original.
As well, then
I have the original 4 turtles in their packaging already
okay.
hanging up over there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm just gonna put these with them. And I have Krang, because Krang. I don't know if you know this, but I have a Krang, like entire shelf of Krang. Almost every Krang that's ever been, the brain guy, the little brain Krang.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have almost every version of Krang that's come out, from cartoon versions to the original to like, yeah, I'm like a Krang. Krang used to be the mascot on my channel.
Oh, really?
If you go back far enough, you'll see me having arguments with the original Krang, and he would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna rule the world with this new toy," and he'd be like, "As soon as John gets this guy out of the package, he's gonna be part of my new turtle army to fight the turtles or whatever, you know." And
that's
he used
crazy.
He used to get mad at me because, like, if I left him in a box for a few videos, he'd be like, I'd make him be like all rough, like trying to get up out of the box, and he'd be like, "I've been locked in here for weeks while this guy packed stuff," you know. And he's like,
or he would check out some of your old videos,
or sometimes Krang would do the whole video. He'd be like, "John's not home right now, but this guy needs to get opened, so we're gonna open this guy today." And like, he would rip the package and destroy stuff, and he goes, "I know John tries to keep the packaging nice, but not this time, because I'm a maniacal maniac," you know.
Yeah.
So well, they're gonna hang on the wall. I think I might put a pegboard at my mom's too. I don't know yet. The first thing is I'm going there Friday to do the garage sale all weekend. Saturday and Sunday we'll have a garage sale. Hopefully that room will be totally empty by the end of the weekend, and then I'm going to paint it, and then I'm going to bring in then I'm going to plan what to do, because the only thing that should be left in that room is a television. Everything else will be gone. So when everything's gone, I'm going to paint the room, and then I'm going to decide, like, we're going to buy an L-shaped couch. Mom wants an L-shaped couch with that works as a bed.
Yeah.
And then we're going to and then the rest of it I can put in shelves and do whatever I want. So I was actually thinking, like, over the couch, like, from, you know, give yourself like a lot of headroom so you're not going to bump into these things. Yeah. But I was thinking a hanging pegboard, and then just hanging the figures, like more modern figures, you know what I mean? Because I love the way this pegboard works here in this room.
Is it the whole pegboard, or is it the slats?
The holes, and then I just get hooks to hook into the holes,
the
you know?
Yeah. Okay.
That's the cheapest way to do it. I mean,
yeah.
The slat board is looks better, but it's like 3 times as much money.
Yeah.
I do things as cheap as possible.
I understand. Put the money in the toys, not in the display.
Yeah. And that's kind of the trick too, is figuring out what I'm going to do, because there's no IKEA up by her house. And I'm thinking there's a couple of things I've seen on Amazon that'll deliver.
Yeah.
And with free Prime delivery. And what's funny is Amazon will even deliver the couch, which is ridiculous.
Really?
Like, yeah, and we're looking at a $500 one, and they deliver it for free from Amazon Prime. So I'm just like, holy shit! Like, they're going to deliver a couch.
Good deal.
Like, IKEA charges you like $100 to deliver a couch. You know,
delivery. Yeah. Wow.
And they won't even deliver that far up. The only IKEA is down south of me about an hour, and they won't deliver up to Port St. Lucie. There's no one, and there's none closer. Yeah. You have to go the other direction to Orlando to see it, or you go down here by Miami. You know what I mean? IKEAs are really only the biggest cities, you know?
Yeah.
But the other thing, and this is what pissed me off, was, so every once in a while, Hot Wheels comes out with a set of cars, and this is appropriate because they're comic book related, comic book adjacent. As so they have. Let's go backwards here. So we got number 5 is Gwen.
Oh, very cool.
So we got Spider-Gwen here. And she's in a 67 Chevy C10. and they have the
Very cool.
ghost
Goodyear.
spider, as
Goodyear.
she's called, really
Yeah.
on the side of the car there. Purple truck, really cool. And then they did number 4 in this out of 5 in the series is the Green Goblin, and he's in a Camaro Z28 with the engine just barreling out of the thing, you know.
That's cool.
And there's a little goblin on the side of it with the orange stripe, and it says Green Goblin over the back rim there. They have really cool packaging on this stuff, you know.
I'll have to show you the ones I got from Brett, Collecting with Cool, CWC. I bought off of him a bunch of Star Wars Matchbox cars or Hot Wheel cars.
Cool.
So they're pretty cool.
And then we have
one of these days. Those are cool.
Now she's a new character. Is this? I can't remember. I know I have her in one of my comics.
Part of the multiverse thing. I don't.
Yeah, but I've lost her name already. But she's in a Circle Tracker, which must be a car they made up for Hot Wheels. But it's kind of Camaro looking.
It kind of looks, Camaro.
And then she's flying on the back side there. Spider.
Who's it say it is?
It just says Spider Girl.
Huh?
So
that isn't the Spider Girl I know.
She must be the new Spider Girl.
Must be the new Spider Girl. Yeah.
But I know I saw her on the cover of one of the comics I bought recently. I gotta tell you, I'm probably about 20 Spider-Man comics behind. Like I got so far behind in reading these that there's just
series behind. I'm two series behind on it just because I started reading the series just recent series, and I was like, I don't like the style of it. I don't like the storyline. I was like, him in college with a roommate, a boomerang. I'm like, what the hell is this shit about? I'm like, all right, I'm out.
And John Romita's artwork is hard to deal with. I find it.
I don't like his artwork. I'm not a big fan of John Romita Jr.'s.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then Venom is in a giant monster truck, of course.
There you go.
Sandblaster monster truck.
That's cool. That's very cool.
So, and he's number 2 of 5. And this is the part that pisses me off. So they must have had about 100 of each of these cars. And I went to 3 different Walmarts, and they all have multiple racks full of these 4 cars. The car number 1 is Spider-Man, and not a single store out of 3 Walmarts had the Spider-Man car. Now, what it is that when you buy a case of these, there's going to be 2 of each car in the case, 10 cars in a case.
Yep.
And there's 2 of each. So they're pulling out the 2 Spider-Man, leaving all the rest.
Yep.
And then some scalpers out there creating a demand in my area for the Spider-Man car. And he does this, whoever it is, does this with every single set that comes out of 5. And these are like the cars that are $2 a car. Yeah. And I bought the Disney set, and the same thing happened. He took car number 5 out of the Disney set of every single set of every box in every Walmart store in my area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I still, after all that, it's been like a couple months, and I've seen them get fresh cases in, and I still can't get car number 5 of the Disney ones. Yeah. And now I'm like, am I gonna never find car number 1 of the Spider-Man cars because of this? Whoever this dork is that's in my area.
I've seen videos of people doing that with like baseball cards or cards in general, just whatever Pokemons or whatever the cards are, the packs or whatever, doing that, but as well with action figures and stuff like that, where they'll actually walk at Target or Walmart and they'll have videos of people getting busted as sales, the guys that work the floor standing in line to pay for something. They got baskets full of these figures or whatever. One strict, it's the same exact thing. They're buying them all out at price and flipping them. It's crazy. So
Duffman says, I can't charge you $100 to deliver a detail.
It's in a box.
Buy all your furniture using the Amazon affiliate link. Well, I have an Amazon affiliate. My mom's buying them all through my link, so sorry. Furniture sit on the floor. Be a man. Jeez.
Hey, Gap, how you doing, sir?
How you doing, Gap? There will be cases of Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lots here.
yeah,
Well, send me
yeah.
one. Send me one. And send me the Mystery Machine van from the Looney Tunes line and the Beauty and the Beast from the Disney line, because those are the two I couldn't get. Hello, Ways of the Sith.
Anyways,
All right, let me get this straight. Geek and Nerd is good, but Dork is bad. Sith in the old flower.
Mhm.
So what did you I've been to the comic store today, and I've got
Oh,
actually
what's
3
that?
different piles. I got my new comics that I picked up. I've got some variants that I grabbed off his wall, and then he
Okay.
gave me a bunch of back issues that I've always got my comic guy on the hunt for certain things, and
Yeah,
he came
yeah.
through with a couple stuff. Did you go to your shop today or
I did not. I did
recently?
not go to my shop. I haven't been. The last time I went to my shop, I came back with a stack that was like this, and $300 later, walked out of there like, ouch.
Yeah,
I
I need to go more often, or I'm going to kill myself. Yeah,
or I'm gonna get killed for spending that much at one
Yes.
time. It's easy to spread it across a period of time versus all at once and dumping it down on one. At least in the
Yeah.
eyes of the wife. But I did not go today. But I did get actually got a couple of packages in that are actually comics.
Hi, Kat.
So I will open these up on live, and one of them has just arrived today actually, and the other one arrived last week, which I haven't had a chance to look at. So
Hi, Gary. Just got home from work. Hi,
hey,
Kat.
Gary.
Good to see you,
Hi,
Kat. I actually just left my comic shop. Got Yoda, Star Wars. Well, look, Waze and I are the exact same. Look at this.
Mhm.
Venom Lethal Protector number 5.
There you go.
Yep, number 5. And well, you go ahead and start opening that while we
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I got number 5 there of Lethal Protector. So I think Waze and I are almost the same. Spider-Man number 10 from the new Spider-Man. And then here we go, Star Wars number 36. The Emperor and Vader on the cover. And I had to get the alternate cover, the action figure version of number 36, which has Padme in her what is it, what did they call these girls? They were handmaidens, right?
Yeah, the handmaidens.
Handmaiden. Yeah. So since they did all the 96, they've gone beyond and done now different characters, but in that style. So then I got Yoda number 9, as Waze is talking about. And I got the variant edition of Yoda number 9. And I got the 1 in 25 of Yoda number 9. Because my comic guy gives me every Yoda cover he gets in. So that's a cool one. It's got him on Dagobah there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got one.
So it looks like Waze and I are in the same. We have the same thought process, I think, when we're getting our comics. We're like going to get all the Venom, Spider-Man, Yoda, Star Wars, you know. Let's see. What did you get? What did you get? Let's put you up here.
Boxes upon boxes upon boxes. So this was from, I have no idea, but he wrote High Adventure number 6, finally, 628. So whatever it was, must have been sitting in there waiting for him to finally get it in. But I got,
Whenever someone says High Adventure, I think of Conan, you know?
yeah, I don't know what it is. We'll find out.
I'm going to be bagging some comics while we're doing this too.
He must mean Star Wars High Republic. So, because that's number 6 in this. All righty. Wow, I guess I ordered a couple of comics that I didn't realize I did. I just love that. When I order comics, and I was like, really? Did I actually order all that? So Let's see. Yeah, where to begin? Where to begin? So, this one has a very cool cover. I don't know if you probably do read, maybe you don't, but Detective Comics
Oh yes, I remember that one. Yeah.
1071.
Yes.
It's a beautiful, beautiful cover.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got that.
You know, I
one.
think I just put a watch on us. I've been doing a watch on slabs.
Yeah,
And now I haven't won one yet because someone always catches on to what's going on, but there's an awful lot of slabbed comics out there online that are starting at like $1.
yeah,
And I've seen some sold ones go for only like $5 or $6 that should have
Yeah.
went for a lot higher.
yeah, oh,
And
yeah, yeah.
so I actually was like, I should start watching some of these and see if I can sneak any cheap
Yeah.
slabs, you know.
Yeah.
And that I saw that one today. It's up there for $1.
Oh,
And,
really?
But
Oh,
it's
very
been
cool.
up. It's been up for 8 days already. It's only got another day left, and
Oh, wow.
still no one's bid on it. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping that we can
hopefully.
go one more day, and I'll get my first slab for cheap.
That'd be good. So I'd already had this one. I've already had another version of it back here, but I had to go with this one just because I'm a huge
Oh,
Howard the
yeah.
Duck fan. So I
Yep.
love Howard the Duck. Just one of the funniest characters, I think. And so I had to Edge of Spider-Verse #1.
And
So
Peter Porker.
Peter Porker, and yeah, very cool. Spider-Geddon, yeah, very cool. Awesome, awesome. All right. Got Lando #1.
Yeah. The 40th version.
Yeah. Return of the Jedi, 40th anniversary. Woohoo. Man, I feel old.
Oh yeah, there we go.
It's a cool Star Wars one. Yeah.
Yep.
34 there.
Do you know anybody who got like whoever gets all those covers? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how that's like 15 of 40? There was across the Star Wars,
Yeah. Yeah.
across all the different Star Wars titles, there
Yeah.
would have been 40 different covers in that style with different
Exactly.
different-
Yeah.
I never go for that kind of stuff. I can't do it. I can't just.
I normally don't, but I have for this. For this stuff, I have been.
You're trying to get all 40?
Yeah. For
Really?
me, it's
Wow.
it's just like, But yeah, I'll buy that, but then I'll also buy like the A cover.
I think the only one I go for where I try to get everything are the action figure variant covers.
Oh yeah. See, and I
know.
don't do those. I
Gotcha. Yeah.
Sprout or Sprout or whatever the heck they call Sprouts, or I forgot what they call the action figure covers, but there's a certain artist that does those. I don't. Anyway,
Christopher, John. Is it John Walker Christopher or John Christopher Walker or something like that?
Yeah, they call it something weird like that. Was whatever.
JCW, I think his name is, or something.
Mm.
Yeah, something like that.
Your boy.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh,
I got
7.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had to get the homage here.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I want that one now.
I got that one sitting right there.
Yeah.
So
I want to
homage
track
to
that
it.
down. That's cool.
Back there. So
Yeah. Is that number 8?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's 8.
I'll have to look. John
Spider-Man 8.
Tyler. Here he is. John Tyler Christopher.
John Tyler Christopher, yes.
JTC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, and speaking of,
Oh, there you go. The Emperor or the Darth Maul one. Yeah.
yeah, because I'm a huge Darth Maul fan, I had to get this.
Yeah.
One, so he's probably one of my fave figures and one of my fave characters in the. So I had to get that. Plus, I thought it was cool because it's kind of like, it's not like a regular action figure. It's as if he's holograph.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Phone is acting up, but I'm back. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Jonathan, how you doing?
So I ended up, some reason, I don't know why, but I ended up buying 2 of these on accident. Local Man. I don't know if you've read this or not.
No, I haven't.
But this written by, I don't know if you know Tim Seeley is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tim Seeley.
I've met him before. Yeah.
Yeah, and Fleece actually do this.
I've met Fleece. Yeah.
Well, they both do this, so it's a really good comic. I think you should check it out. So since I have 2, I'll send you one for free.
All right, cool.
What am I got? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Tim's a great guy. He comes to our comic show every year, and like this past year when he ended up going, we do a comic show in Northwest Indiana, NWI Comic Con, and so he runs that. So he ended up gave me a bunch of these little
cool.
cards for the local man. So
Neat.
they were kind of neat. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, he used to for whatever reason those two used to come to Seattle all the time. And
Yeah.
I think they actually both were on the podcast at one point.
Oh, were they? Yeah.
I don't think together, but I feel like I had them both on at one point separately. But you know who else is a really good guy to talk to? Like I had Christopher Sabella on once, and he was, you know him? He was really nice.
Christopher Sabella.
Yeah, he did a lot of Marvel and DC stuff, and then he started doing his own through Image and everything too. You know.
Huh. I also got I don't know if you've read this series. It's by an artist, Italian artist, but her name is Luana.
Oh wow.
But this is called Lovesick.
Wow.
And it's kind of more of an adult flair to it. But it's very interesting. It's a great it's a good comic. I enjoy it though, but she's really got a really cool art style, so I like picking up her stuff.
Hello, Mr. B. How you doing, Mr. B?
Mr. B, how you doing? All right, and then this was that one, I guess, that he was talking about. Oh yeah,
just High Republic Adventures.
High Republic Adventures, number 8. So is that 8? 6. So so is that one?
I picked up a few old Cinescape magazines today. Remember Cinescape? That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Those are cool books, Ghost.
And then you were mentioning 181.
Hey, PGM.
I had to pick up.
Oh my gosh, the facsimile chromium.
The chromium. So I ended up picking up this. I for some reason I think I ordered 5 for some stupid reason. I don't know why. I just
sell me one of those. How much were they? Give me one.
I'll throw it in your back. I don't know.
I didn't grab one of those, and I didn't realize they had a chromium version.
It's in the John pile now. Let's put it that way. I got a John pile. I got a Salacious pile. I've got a little pile for a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I got a cat pile. I've got a little pile going everywhere. So it's in the John pile. So that was pretty much my main haul.
I did comment on Lunch Money's video, like commenting on how nice a person he is and how that I think that karma kind of comes around and goes around. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's why he was lucky enough to get those things at a deal. And then he said something, and I wrote back, and I was like, "No, you don't really want to know about my collection. You'd probably fall over."
yeah.
I didn't want to say like I already have all those books he was talking about. He listed his grails. I think he listed his top 5 grails, and the only one that I don't have is X-Men #1. But I have every other comic on his list that he really wants. And I was like, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt your feelings and make you be like, what the hell? Yeah, but I bought them years ago. Some of these things, like when I traded some stuff for the Hulk 181, and at that time the value of the comic was around $150.
Yeah.
At the time when I did it, no one thought it would be worth $2 or $3 grand by now. You know what I mean? And if you have a mint one, it could be up to 10 grand for a like perfect one, you know?
Oh yeah, exactly.
So
yeah. Plus a lot of people still fight over the 181 issue, you know.
I have them all just in case.
I know, it's exactly. Yeah. I do not. That's the funny thing. I don't really collect a lot of I've just started collecting Hulk. So
I've been, you know what I mean? Hulk is one of the ones that I didn't actually get every issue of. Yeah, but I picked up a lot of key things here and there.
Keys on there, yeah, that would be a keys for me.
But I've been wanting to go back, and I actually started last year going back and filling in a lot of the Hulk stuff. And because I remember a couple years ago it was pretty cheap, but now some of the issues there's a lot of sections that are averaging $10 to $15, and it's like going, man, I thought I would get a lot of these for $1 or $2. You know, it's getting hard, you know, like
oh yeah, definitely
to fill in on some of these things, you know.
Yep. It definitely is. So, but that was what I pretty much got in the mail today. I mean, I got a bunch of other stuff here, but it's Yeah.
Well, I went variant hunting, and one of the things that intrigued me, I missed this. So I don't know how I missed this, but it's probably because did this stuff come out when I was helping my brother and stuff? Because I totally missed the Disney 100 variant.
Oh yes, that was out about a month ago or so.
Yeah, so
There was a bunch of
I was
different
probably up
covers.
sitting by his side. So I found the Iron Man one, and they're like Mickey
That's a
as
cool
Iron
one.
Man. And
Yeah.
I'd love to get more
Yeah,
of
a bunch
these.
of the
I'd
what
love to
ifs.
get an Avengers and other whatever else they did. I got to look up.
Yeah,
and
they did a
see.
bunch of them. They did a
But
bunch of cool ones.
Luckily, I found what I think is probably one of the coolest ones. He still had this
The
one.
Hulk. Oh
The
yes.
Incredible Hulk. What if Goofy? Look at Goofy turning into Goofy Hulk.
Yeah.
I was like,
awesome.
oh my God, this is the greatest cover ever done. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Look at Mickey and
Yeah.
Minnie back there. Oh my gosh.
I agree.
Donald's all like, what?
Yep.
Oh, I just love this. And
Yeah, that's a great homage to the Incredible Hulk.
so I
yeah.
definitely got to
One.
see. I got to look up the Disney 100 and see what other things they did for that, because I'd be
they
I'd be
did a
all
bunch
in
of
on
them.
that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now,
And then-
those are the things I didn't go into as far as like
yeah.
the cover buys or whatever. I didn't buy those. But,
And then I have the new Hulk stuff as a subscription. But
Yeah.
one thing the subscriptions don't do is they don't give you the annuals.
oh, okay, gotcha.
So you got to rely on your local store for that. So I went in and got Hulk Annual #1, and I liked this cover.
That's a
so
cool cover.
I got the variant cover just because I liked it more than the regular cover. So
Who did that cover?
Oh, do they tell you on the inside who did it?
Usually they'll tell you, but they sometimes list all the different artists. Probably look it up real quick.
Color variant covers Cully Hamner and Dave McCraig, or Gully Sharp and Rachel Rosenberg. Do you know their artwork? I don't know their artwork.
None of those names sound familiar to me, but I'm gonna look.
So it's one of those two groups. And then the regular
was that released this week or last week? That was last week, wasn't it?
This was probably last week, yeah, because Hulk
Yeah.
#1 is out right now. So, and this
Yeah.
this leads into Hulk #1.
Yeah, I'll look it up. But I'm curious. I didn't get that.
Yeah, I got it because it leads into Hulk #1. So the story starts here of the new Hulk.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And I got the regular version of #1, but I saw this variant in the store and was like, oh, I like this. Is a really nice artwork variant. It's almost pencil drawn. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
The way they did the color. It doesn't show up as well on the camera as it does in person, but it's really got a sketch-like look to it, you know?
Yeah.
And then there are two artists that I really like, and one is why am I drawing a blank here? Come on, the Asian girl,
Peach Momoka.
Peach Momoka. Yeah, I like her. I like Peach's covers. So a lot of times, even if I don't collect the series, or sometimes if I do, I try to get her variants. And the other guy I like is Scotty Young. So I got the Avengers #1 Scotty Young variant.
Oh yes, Scotty Young.
Where they're discussing what variant covers they should do.
Yeah.
And he gave me a deal to get a second one so that I could give one away on the channel. So we'll be doing a giveaway.
Very cool.
And then so I got two of those, one to keep and one to give away. And then Venom 18 of the new Venom series.
Yeah.
Look how crazy that is.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's just he's got a weird humor about him, Scotty Young.
He does. Yes.
I just like it, you know.
One of my favorite things growing up, even before I read comics, before I started reading comics. I mean, we're talking back in the 80s, 90s, or whatever, the 90s, I'd say, Calvin and Hobbes. So I was huge Calvin and Hobbes fan, always reading the strip, always reading the books and stuff like that. So seeing Scotty Young's artwork always takes me back to that
He's
time
very
of, you know,
he's very Calvin and Hobbes, isn't
he's
he?
very
Yeah.
Calvin and Hobbes-esque, you know,
Yeah.
Walter Peterson or whatever the heck his name is. I can't remember. Watterson.
Watterson, yeah.
Yeah, Watterson. He's very Watterson-esque, you know. But ultimately, yeah, he's a great guy too, though. You know, we sat and talked with him many a times at the cons. He was just at the Baltimore or at the Comic-Con that we were just at this past week or a couple weeks ago. So, real nice guy.
I have some stuff signed by him, but I think if I remember correctly, the times, because I don't remember really talking to him much. So I think the times that I've seen him, he's been really busy.
Yeah.
So he's just like sign books and move on, because you know what I mean? Like I never find a window to sit down and talk with some of these guys.
Yeah.
If the show I'm at is too popular and they're too popular, it's
Yeah.
like I don't want to hold up the line. So I kind of just get my stuff signed and move on. And I try to set up a time to come back, but sometimes it doesn't always work, you know?
Yep, exactly. So it's funny, when we were at the Comic-Con, there's a gentleman that's in our comic book community that his name's Roscoe, and he's a very good artist, and he does a lot of these kind of crossover type of artwork, you know, where he'll take, you know, Beavis and Butthead, but he'll cross them over into being like Wizard of Oz or something weird, right? Just weird little mashups like that, right?
Yeah.
And he ended up he's a really, really talented artist, and but he isn't like an actual professional artist. He's literally just does it from home, does sketch covers and artwork and stuff like that. So we're standing in line to meet up with Scotty Young, and we're telling him, you know, hey, there's a buddy of ours who's in line back there, and his name is Roscoe. So when he comes up, you know, could you act as though you know who he is and you've heard of him and you're all excited about him? And so, of course, Roscoe comes walking up and he's like, you know, hi, he goes to shake his hand or whatever. And Scotty Young looks up at him and goes, Roscoe, holy shit, awesome. And he's like all excited and freaking, and Roscoe's just like shaking, like, oh my Lord.
Someone knows.
Like, it's one of his friends. I mean, he's like a fan of Scotty Young. He's a huge fan of his. And then so they sat, you know, carried on and talked for a little while and took pictures with each other and with each other's art and stuff. And Roscoe gave him some art and he gave Roscoe some art. But it was really a cool moment, you know, to have. And Scotty's cool like that. I mean, you know, take that time to, you know, sit with you. So
that's
especially
funny.
like afterwards, he's always, you know, hanging out at the bar with you or whatever after the shows and stuff. And, you know, him and his handler lady, whoever, I can't remember what her name was, but they're both real nice. So yeah, we have a good time with them. So,
hey Pete, how you doing? Good to see you.
What's going on, Pete?
Hope the show went well. Jonathan,
it was a little blue. It was a little blue. I heard.
Yeah,
the show. Yes, just a little blue.
Jonathan says, to date, what's the most expensive comic to sell at auction? It still has to be Action Comics #1, right?
Yeah, it's got to be followed by the Fan, followed by or Detective Comics, and then ASM. No, not ASM. What's the other one?
Amazing Fantasy 15?
Amazing Fantasy, yeah, 15. Which
now, Amazing Fantasy 15's got to be the most expensive Marvel comic, right?
It's probably the most expensive Marvel comic. Yeah, AF-15 is definitely.
Where a number of DC comics blow that out of the water, even.
Yeah.
Because Action Comics #1 is the first appearance of Superman, and that's 1938, I believe. And there's only. Do they now have 102 copies? I think
something.
There's a couple of them. A couple showed up. I remember when there was 99.
Yeah.
And then over the years, 2 or 3 more have been discovered.
Yeah.
And I think the last one sold upwards of $5 million.
Yeah.
At auction.
Crazy. Yeah. One of the girls that hangs out in our community, Danielle, the nerdy comic girl, she actually has one of those in her collection. Are you kidding me? Yeah, she has one.
No way.
Yeah.
How the hell did she get one?
Her and her boyfriend at the time just took everything they had and invested everything they had into buying key comics and flipping. And they just started flipping and ended up working away to that, and then have used that for collateral on other, you know, purchases and stuff like that. And so yeah, she's got it. Yeah, she's really smart-minded lady that very entrepreneurial and very much. So yeah, it's like, you know, it's funny when I bought my Daredevil 1, she wanted to buy it off me, and I'm just like, yeah, I just got it for like, I've had it for like an hour.
Yeah.
She's like, but I'll sell you this and then this, and she's like trying to work out deals with me, and then I
Yeah.
would have made out with it, but I'm just like, no, because the chance of me getting another Daredevil one right now are going to be slim and none. I could get the ones you're selling me, you know.
Yeah.
I could, you know, I can get that first Punisher, and I can get the whatever. I can get those, you know. But you try to bundle things for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm
What's
good,
up,
I'm good.
William? How you doing?
What's going on, William?
Yeah, that's always a thing where it's like,
Yeah.
it's hard to part with some of the comics, like especially if you only have the one copy of like one of
Yeah.
my biggest things that I've realized that I need to jump on it and do it is finish my Avengers run, because I only need 1, 2, 3, and 6.
Yeah.
And like 3 and 6 are going to be like not that bad to find, but 1 and 2,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember before the
Expensive.
before the lockdown, Joey over here, he had a number 1 and he was only looking to get $300 or $400 for it. I remember it was just a couple hundred. And I
Yeah.
still kind of was like, I'm not in a position to spend that much money on a single issue. So I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And today I regret it, because I'm like, I mean, right now, if one came across my door at $300, I would definitely buy it. You know, Avengers number 1, I'd be like, oh my God, I can't, you know, so I kind of regret not buying it actually at that point. But and I might be able to, I mean, you still might be able to find one for that price, but it's going to be hard, you know?
Oh yeah. It'll be a 0.5 and it'll be beat, or, you know,
Yeah.
But you'll have one. So,
yeah.
you know.
So I've got to track one. My only usually my criteria is the front cover has to look nice.
Yes, I'm
like
the same way.
Like readable and normal. I mean, it can be like frayed a little bit, and like and the back cover can be half gone. I don't care.
Yeah,
you know? If that saves me the money, the front, it looks good. You know, like But
yeah, I'm the same way. I'm more about the presentation of it. Yeah, I figure because the chances of me turning around and trying to sell it to make a profit, and I'm not a flipper.
No,
I don't turn around comics and sell them after I get them. Typically, like I said, I got these helmets, I'll give them away, whatever. You know, it's like, you know, I'd rather do that than to sell, and which my wife just loves.
Of course, right? Yeah.
She's like threatening me. You know, I'm going to be selling all your comics for $1 each. I'm like, hey, you're the one losing money, not me. You know, because there's a lot more than $1 for each one of those. So, but anyway, yeah, I just really not a big seller per se. So I tried to sell for a little while on eBay. I'm like, yeah, it's just too much hassle for me. I'll keep it.
Comics are tough, in my opinion. You got to be really into it to sell on eBay or Mercari. It's a tough world, because to me, a lot of times the shipping makes it not worth buying the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
It's a hard thing. I do have a few on my site, and it's been I mean, I sell stuff once in a while, but it's like, it's not really that worth it, you know?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I tend to not sell, but
he saw what I got. So this comes up with the next bit in our thing. So my guy is always looking out for me to get toy related comic books. I love those things, and I don't care how many copies I have. Like what he saw was Star-Wars number 1.
Yes,
and the ones that I bought as a kid off the rack, I do still have, and I now have probably 5 copies of 1 through 4, and I just got another copy of 1 through 4.
My
1,
Lord.
2, 3, and 4, because he'll sell them to me for $1 each, and I can't leave them in the shop. I'm like, okay. I was actually sitting there going, well, I've got like 4 or 5 runs of all 4. I don't really need another one, do I? And then I went, hell I do. I'll give you, you know, for $1 each, I'll take them, you know? And he's like, okay, good.
Yeah.
And then the other ones that I don't think I have all 8 of these yet, but I know I've got a few of them, but I just bought all 8 again, because I don't care. But I don't mind having multiples of these things. But Sectars,
yes.
So we've got number 1 here. Number 2 has a really good cover with the tarantula and the dragonfly bee thing fighting. Spydrax versus Dargon.
Yeah.
And what's cool is like the toys are on the back.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the Hive playset. Look at that.
Oh my lord, that's cool.
The Hive playset is like a super gigundous playset. It's
Oh,
massive.
is
It's got to
it?
be like 4 feet high or something.
Oh, geez.
Sectars number 3.
Now were those 3 and 1/4 inch
No,
figures,
they're
or
more like
they were
8-inch figures.
8 inch? Holy
Yeah.
shit!
For number 5.
Is that from like the 90s, 80s, late 80s, early
Yeah,
90s?
80s, 75 cents. So they're
Yeah,
1985,
85.
1985.
Okay.
6.
Graduating high school.
7. And number 8. That's a cool
That's
cover.
cool. That's a cool cover. Yeah, I like that.
So I know I don't have all of them in my collection, but I have a good chunk of those. So some of those are going to be doubles, but again, like I said, I usually like to just buy anything that comes in. Like a couple weeks back, he got me all the Inhumanoids, and
Oh, yeah.
he got me all the Dino Riders,
Okay.
and both of those. Again, I never had the full series. I may have had one issue or something, but I never had the full series. And then today he had this in the shop. And I also like to get all the movie-related comic books from our childhood.
Yeah.
And this is from 1982, I think it says. Yeah, 1982. And it's after the movies when they went on. So they did 2 miniseries for the movies, and then they went on to do an ongoing series with this character. And I actually don't think I have this particular issue. So when I saw it, I had to buy it because I've got a lot of these, but I don't have all of them yet of the ongoing. I've got the miniseries that are for the movies, but I don't have the ongoing comic book series. There might have been 25 or 30 issues in the ongoing series. I don't remember exactly, but The Adventures of Indiana Jones. The further adventures of Indiana Jones.
That's awesome.
So all this is after Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it's just other adventures that Indy went on in the comic book world that are totally made up by Marvel Comics. They're not nothing to do with the movies at all. You know what I mean? But I do have a lot of these, but I don't think I have issue number 1. And if I do have issue number 1, it's okay to have a second copy of it. So I always ask them to set aside movie-related ones, and I will pick through and buy certain ones if I see them. But he had this today, and I was like, oh, I definitely got to get that. Like,
no doubt.
I can't pass that
That's
up.
Awesome.
It was such a
That's
good.
awesome. It's perfectly timely.
Yeah, perfectly timed. Sure. Yes. That's probably why he had it pulled out on the top too, because he was like, John will see this and buy it. I know it.
Yeah. I'll finally be able to get rid of that damn Indiana Jones.
So
the movie's out. Chris liked it. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put it out because John will buy it.
And then we always talk about fun things, and I didn't get any today, but so the 2 things that we were talking about, what's been in the news, what's been people talking about, and he said number 1 is there's a resurgence in Turok number 1. Have you heard about this?
Chris, okay. So yeah, my buddies and I have been driving that market.
You're doing it. Are you? You're in on it?
You mentioned Legion of Comics. He has an actual video today that he released on it, and I was
really? I'm gonna have to go watch it
because we did the same thing with Darkhawk. Darkhawk number 1.
Yeah,
it's gonna be $1 million. That's what it is. So then it's like now it's been the big Turok thing to just to mess around and see what's going on.
Calls and having to pull out his Turok number 1s.
That is awesome. That is awesome. You were just talking about that one comic. You had like 5 issues of it. And I was thinking, wow, that's like everyone with the Turoks nowadays, because they're all like, the guy showed like a Instagram picture of like his bed full of Turok.
They're lighting parrot cages with Turok.
Yes, exactly. It's crazy. But yeah, they've been it's this big huge thing where they're trying to see what they can do to the market, which we've done it in the past. We did it with Darkhawk when I first came into the thing. Darkhawk was a big, Darkhawk #1. Darkhawk. I was on Facebook at the time, and it was like Driven started there, and now these guys have been doing it with the Turok #1s and Spidey's Powdered Tumblers, who's he actually even made a tumbler that has a Turok #1 cover on it, and people have been buying that, and it's just really gone overboard now. It's only been a week. It's only been going for like a week now, and he already was showing on eBay how it's like started off like earlier, like last week, where it was like you were getting them for like $1 or $2, not to make. Now all of a sudden they're up to like $25, $20 on eBay. People are trying to sell these things. It's insane.
So now that it's up at $20 or $30, are you guys selling yours?
I'm not selling mine. I won't sell it. I do have one. It's right there.
I've probably got 5.
I know. Yeah. If you can get that on eBay and sell it, go for it. Yeah, because you'll never get it for that price. You'll never sell it for that price ever.
I can't even get to half my comics. They're buried behind stacks of boxes. So So there's no way. But I mean, I got all those old Valiant Martian. What was it? Manhunter. What was he? Was it Martian Man? No,
Martian Manhunter.
Was it Martian Manhunter?
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, was that Tim? And then Exo Man of War.
Oh yeah. Exo Man of War.
I loved those, and I actually liked Turok. I thought Turok was a great comic.
Yeah.
Bullseye Bull, the red guy with the dot, Bloodshot, right? Bloodshot.
Yeah. Bloodshot's one. Yep. Yeah. And
what was the colored one? Solar, right? It was all funky colors.
I don't know about that one. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I'm not
Solar, Man of the Sun, or something like that, or Man of Stars, or so. I don't know, but yeah, I got all those. I remember getting all those when Valiant first came out. Yeah. And there was a few in there I liked. I thought they were pretty good. Exo Man of War was really good.
Yeah, Exo Man of War still.
I remember that as a real standout.
It's still a popular comic. I always get it. Yeah. So it's good time. But yeah, so my buddies have been helping drive that market up basically, and and
that's funny.
Legion's channel, he's got a whole video. He just put it out this afternoon, and I was making a comment about how his Darkhawk. I was like, hey, it's just like we did with Darkhawk.
He's gonna like that. Even local shops are talking about it.
I know. Now. I'm gonna have to tell him. I'm gonna have to let him know.
We're all discussing stuff. Yeah, it's getting around. So, and then the other one is I think because of the news that they're doing an Amanda Waller TV series, right? It's going to be a series.
Yeah, it'd be a
series.
That
Legion, or right? What was it? Was it Legion? No, Legends, DC Legend, right?
DC Legends,
number 1 is the first appearance of Amanda Waller. So that's starting to get some traction.
That'll start to get traction,
The ones that he had are all gone. They just disappeared. He goes, I got all the rest, but everyone bought my number 1s in the last week. He's like, so those were the ones that people were calling in and looking for at his shop. So it's kind of interesting to hear about what people are looking for and why, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But
no
one knew why the Turok, but now we know.
That's it. Now you know. Yeah.
It's all your fault, Chip.
Do what they can. Do what we can to drive the market crazy. Well, because they've always, you know what it is? They're really looking at guys like Comic Tom 101 or Key Collector, because they always thrive and they always drive. That's their big thing, is always telling you what buy this, buy that, and so there's just like people are just like, you know what, we're just gonna mess with people. We're just gonna start throwing out Turok #1s and say Turok #1's a hot comic, and and it's working. It's people are buying the damn things. It's like, really? It's crazy. Market manipulation. It's crazy.
Yeah, look at you're falsely inflating the market.
They definitely are. I'm not. I have not done nothing. I'm innocent. I just happen to know the people and be on the chats and Instagram and know what they're doing.
I have a Sectars comic from Super John. Yeah, I think I've given a couple away.
Oh, did you?
There were 2 hives with the boxes at Joe Fest. What? I would hate to see a Joe with hives. There are 27 issues plus stuff from Dark Horse. Dark Horse did some Indiana Jones. Okay,
yeah.
Indie comics were great. My favorite comic was The Tick. Spoon.
Yeah.
Tick had cool TV shows, but they never last. Yeah, I don't know why they never last.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Usual Mike's
What's going on,
here.
Usual
Good
Mike?
morning.
How you doing, sir? Morning.
Amazon Prime Tick Series, yeah. Just gone 8 a.m. Thursday morning. It's the
did the voice for
GameStop
Tick?
effect. Yeah, you guys are doing the GameStop.
We're doing a
of
GameStop
comics.
effect. Yeah, we
Yeah.
are. We are. Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt. We're driving
Yeah.
the market.
Yeah.
Sadly, no one will get a benefit from it except the sellers of the comics.
So this now we got something else I want to talk about here.
Sure.
And I briefly showed you this. So have you seen now this is an interesting thing. I know that you have seen these, but I think you have a cool story related to this, which I think is awesome. But I met a guy who did these comic clear backing boards, and there's 25 in a pack, and he gave me a pack to try out and look at. Plus I got a few that are loose here, and they're just
grab one.
They're like thin acrylic backer boards. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to try one with my very special Iron Man #1 comic, because this is not slabbed, and this will sort of be like a cheap way of slabbing the comic. So Iron Man #1 big premiere issue, and it's a 12 cent original. Now this comic has a story with it, which is kind of like, we can go into story time here, and a story about great finds in the wild. And this comic was one that I actually got at a Goodwill. And I walked into Goodwill one day in Seattle, and there on the just out on the rack where they stuck comic books was this comic, and it was loose. It wasn't in a bag. It was just there loose as a loose piece of comic book sitting on the rack with all the other comics and magazines. And I was just like, I must have sat there looking at it for like 10 minutes going, is that real? Like, how the hell can this be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why is this sitting here just like out in the open? Like, and I got there right when the Goodwill opened, you know what I mean? And so I'm the only one in the store basically. And I'm just like looking at this thing going, what the hell? And they didn't price it or do anything. Thank God they didn't stick a sticker on it or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I walk up to the register and I just said, I found this back over in the magazines and comics over there. And I was like, how much are they? And she goes, well, magazines are like $3. I think we do on most magazines. And I'm going, okay, here's $3. I'm out of here. Quickly take my money and let me get out of here. Because these are easily, like, even in this condition, it's over $100. You know what I mean? And probably more.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
got some frayed edging down there.
Yeah, it's got the marble chipping. The marble chipping,
the marble chipping, but
yeah,
it's all intact front and back. The color, I mean, to me, the colors look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that looks great.
It's one of my greatest, like, stumble upon finds out in the wild. You know what I mean? And it's like. And when you're at a store like Goodwill, you don't go up to them and go, "Do you know that comic's worth $100?" No, you're just like,
no, not
you
at
guys.
all. Not at all.
You stupid company, you don't know what you're doing. You go, see you later.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, like, the people might have objection to that, but I don't really, It sucks for the guy who accidentally donated it, I imagine.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But luckily it ended up in a good home,
Yeah. Now, did you buy the bags from him as well, or did he just give you just the backers?
Well, originally he gave me a couple samples that were in
because he just recently he's got
I imagine they're in some of his bags, right? These are
he's got his own bags too. So he sells his bags, and the bags are really good. I actually use his bags all the time just because I think they're better quality because they have kind of a Mylar look to them.
They really
like
are. Yeah,
like when you hold that up against the light against a regular bag, you can see the regular bag has a haze to it where they don't, but they're not Mylar. They're Mylar-esque, per se.
Yep.
So I've always a big proponent of those. So I use the clear backer boards on this one here.
So I'm gonna I'm actually gonna try something here. I'm gonna pull out 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna sandwich my.
There you go.
book between the two. So I'm giving this comic a whole new home here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll show off what else I got while you're actually doing that one. I'll show you what I got for my birthday. Hold on a minute. So my mother-in-law went out and ended up picking me up this Star Wars propaganda book off of eBay. So this has all of the different propaganda ads. That's cool. That's very cool.
Propaganda ads, really?
Yeah. So they're, obviously during the old, wartime or whatever, they've got all these propaganda ads. So never too young to do your part, or evil has its eyes on you. And it's this whole book about propaganda. It's pretty cool. Star Wars propaganda. But they're like, yeah. So she ended up picking me up that. And then she also ended up getting me one more Star Wars book, which was Star Wars the Year by Year. The visual history of Star Wars. My mother-in-law.
Oh, your mother-in-law. Okay.
Yeah. So this goes basically year by year, all the different things that happened during those years related to Star Wars, whether it's Lego figures or, even
that's cool.
Even going all the way back. I mean, it was kind of cool looking through some of this, October of 2007, the Lego, Millennium Falcon, which I now have. It was kind of neat. So, but yeah, they ended up getting me all of this. So yeah, so it even goes back into back in October 17th of 2020, Mattel released a talking plush of Babu Frick.
Wow.
Yeah, see, it's even got the write-up in the book about that.
Hey.
Hey. So it's kind of neat. So it's a very cool book. Very cool. So talk to, but this goes all the way up to like 2021. Probably early 2021, I think, where they talk about the High Republic and stuff like that, and Rise of the Funko Fair and, stuff like that. So
wow.
Grogu. Yeah. So it just barely touches on a 2021. So, but yeah, she got me those two books. So yeah, it's very cool.
Gary,
you did awesome, Gary. You did awesome. Hold on to that because it's going to be worth millions. Jeez.
If I had to choose toys or comics only, like starting from today, it would be comic books. It actually would be comic books. Yes, it would.
Would it? Wow,
because
I'm surprised.
And part of the reason for that is because
you already have all your toys.
Well, here it is. Here it is. If comic books stayed in print, I will continue to collect comics until the day they turn all digital and we never get another issue printed.
Yeah.
I know that day will come someday in my lifetime. They're just gonna stop printing them, because some comics, it shocked me when I saw the numbers. Even some popular characters, like Spider-Gwen, or Deadpool. Yeah. Like, I was shocked at some of the later Deadpool numbers, like 19,000. That's all that were printed.
Yeah.
Like around the whole world, only 19,000 of each issue are printed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
low print runs. Yeah.
that shocks the hell out of me. And they're not even all selling. That's the thing
Yeah.
too. There's
Yep.
some of them are sitting in comic stores still. So it's like, if the print runs are that low nowadays, unless it's like, the main Star Wars or the main Spider-Man issue or the main X-Men, do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like some of those still have 100,000 or whatever prints, but it's like you get to some of these, like I could just see the market for paper comics shrinking,
Yeah.
and then eventually just disappearing. Or I don't know, like do they bundle? Do like companies like Marvel and DC, do they bundle these things? Like how do they? I'm kind of baffled how they make any money off a comic that has only 19,000 or 20,000 print run. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
the printer has to like. They must be giving them some kind of deal where they're like, okay, if you do 20,000 of this one, 20,000 of that one, 20,000 of that one, we can make
Yeah.
this work. And then
They have to be. Yeah.
as long
they
as you're
have to be.
doing, as long as you're also doing 100,000 of Spider-Man and 100,000 of X-Men, we can make
Yeah.
this work. Because otherwise, those lower titles, I don't think there's any profit in them. They'd have to just
Yeah.
get rid of them, and
Yeah.
there's
It costs a lot more to print it than
yeah.
low run.
So it just baffles me how this industry works. So I just imagine that someday they're going to be like, either they're going to say, we're only printing one Spider-Man, one X-Men, one Avengers, and that's it. You're not going to get these other ones are all going to go digital,
Yeah.
or they're just going to go, everything's going digital one day,
Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely see it, but down the road happening.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful it won't happen in my lifetime. But but I could see, I mean, because you already got DC Infinite or whatever they have, DC Universe
Yeah.
or whatever they're in, then Marvel,
And
they
the
have
Marvel-
both of them have their own. You have the Comixology, you have
Yep.
those digital platforms are out there.
Yeah.
I tend to read a lot of DC on my
Yeah.
on my computer and on
Yeah.
my iPad, just because it's easy enough for me to read
And-
it. I don't always make it to the shop on Tuesday, so I'll read it Tuesday, and
And some like I don't know how the DC one works, but the Marvel one, you can just make an account on marvel.com and log in, and you won't get the current comics, but
yeah,
sometimes you'll get something that's 6 or 8 months old will pop up.
yeah,
And then every week the new one that's 6 or 8 months old will pop up depending on the
Yeah.
title.
Yep.
So you technically could keep reading comics for free without paying anything. And then if you pay, there's different levels that you can pay for. And there's
Yeah.
there's a level that like you get it the week it comes out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So-
yeah,
but
yeah. So
the advantage of the online stuff is you pay one flat fee. Like even if you're paying the maximum, I think it's like $19 a month, and you get to read every single comic that's ever put out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
a
a lot
hell
of
of a lot
back issues.
cheaper than going to the store and buying.
Yeah, it
Even what I just
definitely is.
bought today is a lot more than what you would pay for the digital subscription service.
Yeah, yep, yeah. I go through latest releases. So DC will actually release like the latest releases on some of theirs. So
Yeah.
you'll have so you've got the new Night Terrors, the Night Terrors
Yep.
ones and stuff like that. But they also, have all these older, Birthology and all of the older comics as well that you can kind of go through and actually read. And it's well worth the money for me to be able to do that and to be able to, kind of
Yeah.
go back and read something from 2011 and 2000, 26 books in this series. And I get it for,
that's Snyder
Right.
series was amazing.
yeah, so the whole Snyder series, you get that whole,
I
run.
actually bought a lot of those. I think like
Yeah,
the first,
yeah,
at least
yeah,
the first
exactly.
25, 30 issues or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's, so you get that whole run for, and you're able to read it digitally, and reading it isn't
Yeah.
too bad as far as, the actual process of reading it. You can do panel by panel and it'll show you the panel, when you just tap on the phone and so I can tap
Yeah,
on the phone here and
It'll bring up the panel. Yeah.
yeah,
so you can-
right. Pulls to
can
the next
see it.
panel, you
Yeah.
know, and then,
It
it
moves
just kind of
around too.
it
It's kinda
bounces
cool.
around for you,
Yeah.
to kind of show you, the different parts of the panel, so the important text and stuff, or you can change it depending on your phone type. On my iPad, I typically leave the whole thing up, but it works great. I've had no issues with those, but I still like my in-hand paper
Yeah.
for collecting purposes.
So the reason, to answer Geek Strong's question, the reason that I would go comics until they stop,
'Cause he
is
bought all his toys.
because
He has all the
Well-
toys from when he was a kid.
a lot of the Marvel comic books are stuff I've collected from when I was a kid, and like I've got every Avengers except for four comics. I mean, 1, 2, 3, and 6. I've got every Iron Man comic that ever came out. I've got, including the Journey to Mystery, or no, he was Tales of Suspense or something, right?
Yeah.
Tales to Astonish. Which
Tales
one
to
was he?
Astonish.
One of those.
Tales to Astonish, I think.
Yeah, and he was with Captain America in that for a while, right? Wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. And I've got all those. I've almost got all the Captain Americas. I've got every Thor that ever existed, including his Journey into Mysteries.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so I mean, like, and Wolverine, I have every Wolverine that's ever come out, you know. So it's like I can't stop the run. That's the problem.
It's
So-
a runaway train.
If I stopped getting Avengers today, well, I'd be like, crap, I've got every Avengers comic that's ever come out except the last 5 years before they went digital and stopped.
Yeah.
So I have to collect them essentially for the rest of my life because I have the what I've got till now. Do you know what I mean? And the same with Thor, the same with X-Men, the same with Wolverine. It's like it's almost like I'm trapped into buying
OCD.
because I can't just stop the run and say I've got every comic from the moment they started till 2023. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't work that way in my brain. I'm just like, no, if you've got all 1,000 issues, but you're missing the last 10, why not have the last 10? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's like,
it's so funny because we totally collect totally different. I collect more keys than I do physical. The only runs I really collect everything of was like Star Wars or Darth Vader, or the Marvel Star Wars, not the the Darth Vader, the Dr. Aphras. Those are the ones I'm running the full runs on, type of thing. But
gotcha.
But there's a lot of the, I am working on Daredevil, which I'll never finish. The same with Amazing Spider-Man, I'll never finish. But
I've been working on Spider-Man my whole life because
I've
never been able to get those early issues. Same with X-Men, really. I mean, there's a lot of X-Men issues in the middle. Like I said, I need number 1, and I think the first one, earliest one I've got is number 10. Of X-Men.
Yeah.
I think I might have Amazing Spider-Man number 10 also. Isn't that the first Rhino? I think I have the first appearance of the Rhino.
I think
it's low. It's that low. It's somewhere in that range.
Which one do I got? No. Okay. I was trying to see if I had it up there. I don't have the Rhino one.
Yeah.
I don't have the first.
See, when I was younger, I started with Amazing Spider-Man when the clone was out, but not the new clones, the first clone, number 148, 149, like that story.
Yeah.
So that was where I started with Spider-Man, because something intrigued me when I was a kid about the clone idea, and someone told me, I think I was in the shop with my mom or someone, and someone in the shop was talking about it, like, yeah, could you believe that one of those was a clone Spider-Man? You know what I mean? And I went, a clone? What's this clone thing? You know, and I learned about clones and cloning technology because of Amazing Spider-Man number 140. It was 148, right? Isn't it? With the gremlin clone.
Yep.
And what I thought was awesome about that comic when I got it home is I still have the one I bought as a kid. And when I read it, at the end, one of the Spider-Men walks away, and you don't know. They don't tell you in the comic if it's the clone or the real Peter Parker. Which one died. I mean, he didn't die, but I mean, the one that died is left under the rubble or whatever happened to him, and then the other one walks away, and they don't tell you from that point on if you're still reading about Peter Parker or if you're reading about the clone. You don't know. You never knew which one lived. And I think that's why later on some clever writer, I don't remember who did it, but in the 90s, they caught on to that and went, hey, we got to bring this clone idea back. And like, and they I think they I think they solidified that it was that the whole time we had been watching Peter Parker and Ben. What they named him? Ben Riley or something?
Ben
right?
Riley.
Yeah, he came back as like the clone of Peter, and
Yeah. Yep.
and then he ended up getting his own series and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Yep. It's crazy.
I knew a guy that got a Lego Falcon. Chip, something like that. Someone got a Lego Falcon recently. I don't know. There's some crazy guy out there got a Lego Falcon.
Yeah. Some crazy guy like that. So I told my wife, you should call John. She's like, I was thinking about it.
Now I'm in a bidding war for an autographed Turok loincloth. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my lord.
Babu the prick. What? What do you mean you can't stand Babu? I remember Spider-Man X-Men would sell 1 million copies a month and then some. Yeah. In Spawn sold 1.7 million when that first came out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Print is dead. So big. Gotta go, guys. See ya, Pete. Gotta see a man about a sheep. He's going to sleep, I guess. All right, where are we on the chat? Okay, Greedo, Mr. Sup. Hello, everybody. Hello. Is that why John has so many clones of himself?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was curious about as well. The truth is coming out.
Yeah.
10 was.
Oh, you're looking that up?
Yeah, no, I was looking up. 10 is the actual the enforcers. That's number 10.
Oh. No, that's not the one I have then.
Yeah, no, the Rhino one is like
I think Rhino's on the cover. It might not be his first appearance, but I think it might not be his first appearance, but I think Rhino's on the cover.
41. 41 is the Rhino. The first appearance.
Oh, yep, that's the one I have. Yep.
Yeah, 41. Yeah.
Oh, it's 41. So see, that's even further away than I thought it was from
you were talking about one of your I'll grab it. Hold on a minute.
So the Iron Man that ended up in the Mylar really looks good. It's opposed to the old packaging, and now you can see the back as well. So it's sandwiched between two pieces. So it's almost like it's in its own slab now that we just created right here live on the show. So it's not a bad $3 find. I recommend hunting all of your thrift stores and things like that and see what you can find.
It's somewhere in here, but you were talking about your Iron Man find.
So yeah, look at it, came out so good.
Yeah, that looks awesome. Yep. Yeah.
Although now you can see that the back has a tear on it.
Yeah.
It's all right. I mean, what are you going to do for $3? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And like I said, I like the front to look the best. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
yeah.
And it looks way better than the way I had it before. So
those clear comic book covers are cool. So then you have to start doing this type of thing with them, making your own slabs.
Yeah, I actually was talking with Padawan about that. He got sent a bunch of acrylic cases and things.
Oh, did he?
And he doesn't have comics, so he's like, I can't test out a lot of the comic book ones that they sent him. And I was like, I'll gladly test out the comic ones, but
definitely.
He never got back to me if he was going to send them or what. But
yeah.
Because I would love to test out the comic ones, you know. And
I'll
slab a few of my own comics and see how that works.
Yeah.
But my comic store used to give me these big Mylar sheets to put them in.
Oh yeah,
so I'll just slide it in there to keep it a little bit more protected.
That's the little plastic.
Well, it's got almost like
it's Mylar.
It's got a file sort of tab on it.
Oh,
But
huh.
yeah.
Did you pull the plastic off of the?
What?
You know that there's like a plastic coating over the top of that backing, right?
Yeah, this is all pulled off. Yeah.
Oh, you pulled off the
Yeah.
plastic.
Yeah, no,
okay,
no,
gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Wasn't sure if you knew that.
They're
or not.
totally clear. Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's totally
yeah. Because
clear.
yeah,
yeah.
it looks nice though. It looks real nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it worked out really well. I'm gonna have to do that with a couple other of the key ones and keep them nice like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So what was it you were saying?
Oh, I
Sorry.
was gonna say I was looking for it. I must have it stored somewhere else. I don't know where, but you were talking about your Iron Man story, and I had a very similar story with ASM 16, which is the first appearance of Daredevil and Spider-Man together in the actual on the cover
Wow.
as well. Right, so it's got the
You
yellow
have that one?
Daredevil off. Yeah, I have that.
Oh wow.
I ended up picking up that one for $10 at a antique shop.
Wow.
So, which was funny because this past weekend we were at the same exact antique shop that I picked this thing up at, but I picked it up like years ago. And when I first started collecting, going on, Bill. And so that was just one of those that you were talking about your story. And I'm like, yeah, I actually have that as well. And I ended up picking up at an antique shop that was really, and it's funny because like it's one of those antique shops where people will rent booth spaces, but
yeah,
they're not there. They're not there. They don't know. So you're really kind of, I walk up and I'm just like, hey, and it was like such a good deal on this thing. I'm just like, yeah, there's no way I'm even going to ask to negotiate a price or try to haggle on a price and have them call someone to find out about the price on this and find out that guy looks up online. Oh, what's it worth? And finds out it's a $500 comic when he's got it for $10. It's like, nah, it ain't happening. So
you just gave him the $10 and ran.
Yeah, just like, there you go. Bye. I'm out the door. So, but yeah, I got that one real cheap. So
that's a good find. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one. That was probably, that's one of my better ASM finds. Like I picked up a couple other ones that are lower grade, but they were like, there was like in a, $5, $3 bin. Like I'm looking at the number 27 ASM 27 for like $8 or whatever. So they're all fairly inexpensive comics compared to what they are now. I mean, a buddy of mine just went through like 1 through 100 run and collected all of them. And yeah, he was just spending way too much money. I'm like, holy shit, dude, you're insane. Because it's insane the amount of money. Because I got into it like probably 4 or 5 years ago when I was picking these things up. Now I wouldn't even try. It's like that's why I'll never finish them. Too damn expensive.
Exactly. It's going to be Spider-Man is going to be a very difficult one, but it's like I just have to. I always say you got to have infinite patience because the only way you're realistically going to finish it is running across stuff like what you just did.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's like and you just got to hope that eventually you get all the individual issues, and then, like I said, when you get down to like my Avengers run where I need only 4, then you think, okay, maybe I'll spend a little bit to get those last 4, you know what I mean? And finish it off, but everything else has been, because everything in that Avengers run has been less than $20, even the key, big issues. But most of them I bought 10 plus years ago,
off the shelf. And
so Gap has a good question. You have a lot more experience with these clear Mylar backers and everything.
Yes.
You haven't had any experience with them sticking due to humidity or anything?
No, I haven't actually, not at all. No, there hasn't been any problem with them sticking at all. No,
because Chip knows the people that make these.
Yeah. I actually 3 years ago, I actually on my other channel, my original channel that I deleted, I actually had done a review for them about 3 years ago, and ended up they were doing a deal where hey, come on, do a review or whatever, we'll cut you some money and give you, if you get it into your local shop, we'll go ahead and we'll build you up an account basically. And so I have an account with them where I could actually get a discounted price for it, but I never do because it's too much of a hassle. But plus I like to support my local guy, and pick them up from him since he's buying them, and he bought them because of me, because I showed him them. So I was the local rep, as they say, for
nice.
Without even knowing it. So, but it's cool. So they're really cool though. And they
But
just started coming
you've
out with the
actually
Milo
used
bags.
a lot of them then.
Oh yeah. I've got probably, yeah. I mean, I got all kinds of different versions of them. I mean, yeah, different sizes, different, like I said, I mean, this is a modern one and this one's a modern that I was throwing them on modern comics, and I've got some of the ASMs that I actually have it as well. And, some of the old ASMs and stuff. So, but yeah, I've not had no problems with that at all. So, no humidity issues.
I need to get
Especially here
back
in
to my
Illinois.
comics. I've got 15 or 20 in my box at the moment. Are they all Star Wars, Ghost? Do you do Star Wars? Thanks for asking, John, and answering it, Chip. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Thanks for the
Definitely.
question. I mean, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. He just started rolling out different bags. Like within the past year and a half, he did bags. He started doing bags. He was looking for the Mylar comparable to Mylar in clarity and quality, while still. And I got some earlier bags from him where they were splitting on the sides, and we'll talk to him about it. And he was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna fix it. So they adjusted and got better, sealing on them, and now they're much better bags than what they were in the past. And he's actually done similar. That's why I was asking about that bag, if that was from him, because he now has it where you don't have to have the like the one I have here from him. It's loose, so I have to take a sticker or a label.
Oh yeah, the ones that he
get
the couple that he gave me had sticky on them.
But the good thing about them is the sticky's on the bottom and not on the flap.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because a lot of times if the sticky's on the flap, as you're opening it up and you're pulling out that comic, that flap is loosey goosey,
and it can get stuck
out
on
of your hand
comic.
and it gets stuck on it.
Yeah.
And I've seen plenty of comics that get caught up in that tape or whatever and ripped off. So he was smart to put it on the actual bag and not on the flap. So,
but I still would actually prefer it not to be on there at all myself.
Well, yeah. Some people don't like.
I just like to tape them. Most of the time what I use is BCW.
Yeah, BCW. Yeah. You get those from Amazon.
But the problem I've been having is, have you noticed that modern comics are actually not this size anymore?
No, I haven't really paid attention.
Like, I have a lot of modern comics that don't actually fit in a modern comic bag.
They don't?
No. And I have to go and I've been using Silver Age.
Silver Age?
Yeah.
Wow.
What it is I think that some of them have become a little bit thicker. Like there's more pages.
Yeah.
Once you put like 4 or 5 more pages in there, well, now it won't fit because it's too thick for the this bag is essentially the exact size of the comic.
Yeah.
So if the comic's too thick, the bag can't stretch to fit it in there. And
Plus you get the cardstock ones. You're buying the cardstock covers and
with a backing board. I mean, they seem to fit without a backing board, but once you put that backing board in, it won't fit, So some of those bigger, and it seems to be like every 10 issues or something, there's one that won't fit, So it's not an uncommon thing for me. It seems to be happening all the time. So I've kind of been like, there's got to be like a current thick size or something like that.
Like, current XL.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more breathing room in them to get the comic in there without it being too big on the side.
But some of the BCW thing is, some of the reason is that I can go on their site and I can buy, like, you get these bags that have 100 Mylar in a bag, right? Well, they're polypropylene, right? Yeah, polypropylene, 2 mil.
Yeah.
So you get 100 bags. You get 100 bags in one pack. But if you go to a comic store, this pack will run you $7 or $8.
Yeah.
But if you buy them off bcwsupplies.com, right from them, and you order say 10 bags, so you get 1,000 bags at once, they come out to be like $4 each.
Yeah. Yep.
So I've just been doing, and backing boards, like, forget about it. If you go to your local shop and just get one pack of 100 backing boards, you could spend $15. But you order them from them and you get them for $7 or $8 for 100 if you buy 1,000 at a time, you know. So I've been ordering direct. I can't afford to buy them from the local shops as much as I'd love to. I just can't. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I'll buy them once a year, and I got like a stack just sitting there, and I use it all year long, you know.
So when you buy your comics, do you buy them? Are they loose, or you have to bag and board them?
I have to bag and board them.
See, mine's the same way. My local shop's the same way. When I've been buying from Economics and Comics, he bags and boards them all for me and ships them to me in the box.
Yeah,
so it's always nice to actually get them.
Yeah, if I get them online, they generally come bag and boarded. But when I go to my local shop, but at the same time, if you get a bin like mine where I'm getting, you know, like today I spent like $40 some on comics. So a bin like mine where I'm spending that every week, like he'll give me 20% off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm a
discount too,
you know, and so he has discount levels between 10 and 20% depending on how much you get and how often you're buying your books, you know?
Yeah.
So
mine does the same thing.
To me, it's kind of like, well, I'd rather have the discount than get a bag and board, and I can deal with the bag and boards on my own at home, you know?
Yep. Very true. I was just looking at...
He's like Star Wars, Transformers, Ghostbusters.
Transformers can be big. They got a new series rolling out.
Did you get Ghosty? Did you get Void? You got it sitting there?
I do.
This is a very interesting comic, Void Rivals. Number one, it's a great enemy mine type story where two opposing forces crash land on a planet and they've got to like learn to work together to get themselves off the planet. But they do seem to be like, are they not 100% organic? I don't know.
I don't think they are.
I think they're like a biomechanical sort of.
Yeah. The two of them.
But it's an interesting sort of. It's almost like a mystery at the same time as a kind of like enemy mine sort of thing going on, where the two opposing factions have to work together. But at one point in the comic, there is an interesting cameo that is going to kick off a shared universe that this company is doing. And it's still IDW, right? Or who is it?
This is Image.
Oh, it's Image Comics. Image has all the rights to it all now, huh?
Yep.
Okay. So the shared universe is going to include G.I. Joe, Transformers, and a bunch of other properties. And this issue kicks it off where they run into a certain starship crashed into the planet that they think they might be able to use and refigure to help get off the planet. But when they activate the ship, it transforms and you realize that it is Jetfire right there. And Jetfire talks to them a little while and he kicks off a mystery because he says the amount of wear and tear that's on his body from the elements must mean he's been crashed here and dormant for 1 million years or something.
Yeah.
And then he flies off to see what is going on with Cybertron because he's been gone for so long. Yeah. And this kicks off the new Transformers shared universe that Image is doing. And it's sort of this has become a sleeper hit because no one knew it was starting in these comics. Yeah. So
So go look for it. It's out there.
Void Rivals.
Great story. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, my comic guy, my store put it in my bin, and I actually picked it up, and I was like, I don't need Void Rivals. What do I need this for? And he goes, No, trust me. You want that comic? He's like, trust me, just buy it. When I got home, I read it, and then I called him up, and I was like, oh my god, I'm all in. He was like, make sure you read the editor's page. He's like. So I read that too, and like I was like, oh, I get what they're doing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So very cool. It's very cool. So yeah, it was one of those where I was I hadn't made an order at my shop lately, and I probably have it sitting over there. I didn't pre-order it. FOC ordering. I didn't do that. That's typically what I do with Economics Comics, so I didn't get it from them. But I do have it at my local shop, but I haven't been there for a while. So when I was in North Carolina, one guy was selling Modern, and I was just like, oh yeah, I'll just take that one. Give me something to read. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, Walmart is a good place to check too if you are there. They have the Jabba the Hutt 40th anniversary variant cover, and they have the Ewok variant cover at the at Walmart in their 3-packs. $8.99, I think they are for those 3-packs.
Yeah,
and then there's also a Spider-Gwen variant cover that can be found at Walmart, and a Venom Lethal Protector #1. Walmart exclusive variant that can be seen there. Oh, that's the Disney 100. Nice.
Yeah.
With the gauntlet. Wow.
I
That's
just happened
cool.
to be looking through them because I was looking for that one he was just talking about.
400 new Transformer. Wow. Chris got 400 Transformer comics during the sale at his store recently.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. It's making the comic side of it's going to be big. I mean,
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. Yeah. He said Jabba because his phone wasn't saying it, but I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
200 bags, 200 boards for 34 at Amazon. Okay.
That's not bad.
Got that boy thing that should be in my body. Okay. Does anyone use a comic app or spreadsheet to keep track of their books? I wish they had it.
I do actually. I use a program called CLZ.
There are some free ones out there though. You don't have to always pay for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but I know I've seen them. But
yeah, CLZ. I use the CLZ app, which is not too bad. It allows you to scan them in, and actually, when you actually look at the actual app itself, I just happen to have it open here.
Yeah, Ghost. He was frozen in ice for 4 million years. You're correct. Yeah, you are right.
So I can, I was going to just show real quick.
The CLZ.
Yeah, it's called CLZ Comics, and it allows you to actually go in and be able to actually load up your comics in short order. So if I wanted to add a comic, so we'll just take an example, this comic here, right? So I've got this comic. I haven't added it into my app yet. And on the app, it'll show you like all of the different comics that you have and, you know, checkbox on what, you know, you have or you don't. So I can come in and I can say, I want to add a new comic. And I'm basically just going to say, you know, I'm going to do it by barcode. So I could just scan the barcode and I'll scan the barcode on this as long as it'll allow me to get the light. Helps if I do it in, I gotta do it in the right light.
Yeah.
It's not this hard normally. Okay. So then what it does is it actually will add that comic to the actual program. And then you just say add to collection at the bottom, and you can stack them up with the barcode. Just scan, 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 and just hit add to collection, and it'll actually add them to the collection for you. And then it's really nice. Go ahead.
Can you actually add them in chunks? Like, say someone like me wanted to start out, and I know I've got like Avengers, say like 7 through whatever. Can I do like I own Avengers 7 through whatever?
Yeah, you could actually click on
like
so instead of saying I want to do it by barcode, you could say I want to do it by series.
Gotcha.
So you click on the series, and then if you wanted to do, Avengers, it's going to start to say what volume.
Yep.
And you could say I want volume 1. And then you could just come in and you could say, yep, I've got this one. And you could just hit let me.
Is there a select all or something? And
there's not a select all per se. Hold on a minute. I'll show you kind of how you do it. One of these days I'll actually have to do a video for this thing. Well, actually, there is a select all. I stand corrected. If I hit this little button up there at the top, select all 973 of them. Or I could just hit the boxes, and say that I have these
'Cause-
4 selected with the little box there and a gray checkbox.
Yeah.
And then just at the end, just say add to collection, and it would add it to my collection. I don't have those, but I
Yeah.
would like to have them, but I don't.
Because that's what I've had a problem with a lot of the apps in the past is that
Yeah.
I need to add entire runs. And what I would do with that is just hit select all and then uncheck. You can just uncheck 1, 2, 3, and 6. And then
Yeah.
I could just say add all those to the collection. And then, but I actually do my checklist in reverse. I have a spreadsheet, but I have it the other way. I have what I need.
Mm.
I have a list of what I need to get, not what I already
Gotcha.
have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah. It's
'cause
funny
that-
because this actually does something similar to that as well, where you could actually change it to be instead of what you actually have, you could do it actually, you can reverse
like
it
a
to
want
say
list. Yeah.
of what you actually don't have.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say I do if I
So
do
if
it
you
in like,
are a full run collector, you can kind of
yeah,
flip it
so I
the
do
other
that
way
a lot.
around.
I was doing that a lot of times, like with my ASM stuff. I could go in and I could say, you know, searching for Amazing Spider Man or whatever. Let me just do it here. Yeah.
So Gap says that's cool. I'll have to check that app out. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah,
says
it's
he
a really
uses
cool
it.
app. It's a really
Chris
cool
says
app.
he uses CLZ also.
Yeah. Yep.
Rolando says he's unsubscribed because you have a White Sox hat.
That's
So
not
you wanna-
nice at all.
Do you want to know something? Do you want to know something?
Sure.
So when I was in high school and early college, I wore White Sox hats because do you want to know why?
Well, It's easy.
It was a subliminal thing.
Uh-oh.
And
Okay, do tell.
when I wore it in college, it got girls coming up and talking about it, and I met a lot of girls this way. So do you see on the right side of the O, like you might want to take your hat off, but
Okay.
there's a line where you can color that in black,
Uh-huh.
and instead of SOX, it says SEX as in sex.
Ah,
Do you see it?
gotcha.
Do you see
Yeah, I
it?
see what you're saying. That line
Yeah, you
right
color
there.
that line in black, and then it says sex, SEX. And when I saw that, I just was like, this will get people talking. I wore it like every day to college, and like, yeah, I met so
Oh my
many girls
Lord.
that way because they would stop me and be like, wait a minute, what does your hat say? I thought it was
Yeah.
a White Sox hat, but you know, like,
Yeah. So you're talking about so on this app, you can see the things that are in white, the numbers that are in white here at the top. These are the ones that I have. But then if
Gotcha.
I click on the find missing issues, it'll show me all the
Ah.
missing issues as well. And then you can kind of go through and you can say, oh, I need, 112 to 133. Okay, let me start looking through that batch. Here's a bunch of them. Let me start grabbing what I can. So I use it a lot for that. It also does, like you'll notice on like this Daredevil here, you'll notice like on the app itself, like Daredevil #1, I got a 3.5 and it tells you fair market value is
oh, okay,
$7,500.
yeah,
And what it's using cover price
yeah,
as its actual resource for that information. And cover
Yeah.
price goes out and grabs that information from eBay and Beckett and all the different sellers out there and Macari and all that, and just
Yeah.
compiles it all together as to what it's
they
sold
generally.
for.
The only thing is they generally use online sellers. So anyone who posts it online and they can get that information
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get like if a local comic shop or
local
even
shop.
even if a local auction sells it, you're not going to get that data. So sometimes all I'm trying to say is that sometimes you can find a better deal than what
yeah,
those
absolutely.
say. And
Yeah.
and then the opposite
But
is true. Is
Yeah.
if you have one that's worth a lot, then it's like,
Yep.
I better take this to Christie's or Golden or something like that and
Yeah.
get, especially Golden these days. You get him to do it, you'll probably get top dollar. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
there's,
Yeah.
there's,
But
yeah.
the thing about it too is, I mean, it was like kind of like, oh, okay, it's a like when I got the Daredevil, I didn't pay $7,500 for
No.
it, but I used this, and I used this. I used Short Box. I used another one, a Key Collector, and a couple others. And you kind of, they all go through like kind of to tell you. So because generally, if I'm going to buy something like that, I could buy it locally. But I was like, what would it sell for on eBay, and can I get a better price for it than I would have if I were to buy it at eBay and have it, and I was able to get a much better price than I was able to get it there. So I was like, okay, yeah. So it's a buy, But ultimately, yeah, it's one of those things where that's what I use a lot of those programs for.
You get the new one? Didn't he just start over, Daredevil?
Yeah.
Did you get any of the new ones?
Yeah, I've got all the new ones. Yeah, I've got the new one here.
Yeah. Oh, the Electro
right
one?
next to me. Yeah. So it's all sitting right here. Yeah. So yep.
The worst one is the Ramita cover. You don't want that one.
No, I don't get Ramita, man. I just don't. I don't understand it. I mean,
I don't get the appeal.
He's a nice guy. I mean,
he is.
Had a very ride with him and his wife last year at the Baltimore Comic Con, not Baltimore one, but and really nice guy. But yeah, I just don't like his art style. I just don't. I think he's lost a lot. I'm looking at some of those faces, and I'm like, man,
it's all too flat. Like there's something wrong with it.
There's something wrong with the artwork and the style of the art.
You know what? In as much as people tout about Walter Simonson back in the day, like I saw a shift in his artwork at a certain point while he was doing Thor. In the middle of his Thor run, it went from like extremely good art to like this was done in 3 seconds, and it's just a line,
just phoning it in.
A line drawing that the colorist is trying to fill in as best he can.
And
it's like I was like, why do people like this guy so much? His artwork became terrible over the years, And
yeah, you still gotta like him.
Do you guys read all the comics you buy? If so, is there any reason you would not? So I
do not.
For the most part, I do read everything I buy, but I don't read my variant covers. I'll buy a newsstand and a variant and put the variant in a bag and board to keep and read the newsstand,
and read the A cover or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you call it. Yeah. But I do fall behind. Like I said, I'm like 20 or so issues behind on Spider-Man because a lot of times I'm like actively reading the Star Wars stuff or like this new Transformers thing that's kicking off. It's like I'll get into that and read like the whole chunk that's come out, and then the Spider-Man will pile up. X-Men, I think there's like 50 X-Men issues I haven't read. They're just sitting there in a pile and like once the pile gets so big, it looks like a daunting task where I'm like, oh, I'm so far behind. Do I really want to go back 50 issues and catch up, and and you don't have like that. You don't have that chunk of time all the time to do it. So a lot of time, because a lot of times my reading habits go like I just started Venom Lethal Protector. You know what I mean? It's 5 issues in. So I'll read these first 5 issues all in one sitting. And then I'll let like 6 through 10 pile up before I go back to it. You know what I mean? Because I still got I've got the first 3 or 4 of Darth Vader, the black, white, and red or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. So I haven't even touched that series yet. So now once I read the first 5 or Lethal Protector, I'll go to the Darth Vaders and read those,
Yeah.
So I read them in chunks. I don't read every issue as it comes out. I read them in chunks. And by the time I've read that, the last chunk, a new chunk is 5 or 6 issues in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with a couple of them, like, because John Romita Jr. was doing the art for Spider-Man, I put some of that off. And then the X-Men, I don't know, somewhere along the line, I just kind of lost a little bit of interest in the story of where it was going. So they were kind of like last on my list to read. Yeah. And then I was reading Aliens, and I was reading Predator, and I was reading these Spider-Mans like Venom and Dark Web, and I was reading other Spider-Man related stuff. Yeah. And then it's like, you get back to the first pile and you're like, well, now there's like 4 more new Transformers or 5 new Star Wars I'd rather read, or I'm going to catch up on Yoda now that there's 10 issues or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's
I tend to find myself reading. I don't read like literally like this was me picking up my comics from the comic shop, right? And there's just no way I'm going to be able to read every one of these, but I do go through it and I'm like, all right, so the things that I'm interested in, I tend to find myself writing more about, like, some of the or not the variants, but like the independents, so like
Yeah.
8 Billion Genies. So
Yeah.
I'm reading 8 Billion Genies, or I'm reading Little Monsters,
Yep.
Noctera, which I've always really loved the Noctera series. So little ones like that I have been reading. But I also do a lot of the Dr. Aphra and Darth Vader. So I'll do those 2 runs. I don't do Star Wars. I was doing High Republic for a while, and then I stopped kind of just reading on those. And I have all these Yodas, and I've never read it. As a matter of fact, I got 2 of these now, I guess. I didn't even realize that I had another one of these. So it's
Yeah.
my life. I got one bag that I just got in the mail today, and
You picked one up. Yeah.
I picked up, another Yoda. So I mean, it's just funny how I get all these different covers, and I just don't. A lot of them are just like I'm buying them just because I'm buying them to keep the run going, type of thing. So a lot of the Spider-Man ones, the modern Spider-Man, I've been doing a lot of that. But yeah, I do. Yep, definitely.
And G-Force thinks that we're nerds because reading is for nerds.
Reading is for nerds. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So,
but Gary reads them all. See, Gary's in the reading boat.
Yeah, I just don't have no time.
The reading boat.
I would love to. I'd love to be able to. When I first started collecting, I was reading it all, and then as time went on, it was just like I just started buying. Well, I think my big problem too is I do buy a lot of cover buys. Oh, that's a cool cover, I'm gonna buy it. That type of stuff. So I tend to do that a lot.
Have a great night. See ya.
See you later.
Well, I don't want to keep you forever tonight. There,
no problem.
So let's wind it up.
Sounds good.
I still love it. Yeah, we know G-Force. We're not taking it seriously. We're not like, oh, that G-Force. I mean, we're gonna have to go hunt him down. Let's go over to his house.
Yeah.
You go around back. I'll come in the front. Make sure he doesn't get away from us. Like we're not that kind. We know you're joking around.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So yeah, if you're up for it, Chip. I mean, not every week, but I mean, I'm gonna try to be on every Wednesday. Doing this and going through what I picked up. I think something I want to hit on for next week is I was hearing I haven't done a lot of research myself, but I've been watching. I watch probably just as many comic YouTube stuff as I do toy YouTube stuff. Yeah. And one thing I saw when I was going through some stuff yesterday was that some people are seeing the market for Silver Age, especially Marvel, like dip. It's in a dip. And what's fascinating to me is I've been noticing the carded Star Wars vintage figures are on a dip. Like I just recently bought, I mean, what did I get? I got Squidhead, Nikto, Gamorrean Guard, the Emperor, and now I just bought a Rancor Keeper. And all of them were a lot less than $100. Like the Rancor, the Nikto was like $40, $45, I think. And I just got the Rancor Keeper for $40. And so it's like those just a couple years ago were hitting almost $200. So they've during the lockdown, everything started going way up. And now I think people need money.
Yeah.
And they're questioning all the stuff they bought during the lockdown. Do I really need this? So I feel like there could be 2 things. We're going to have to look into this, but it might be a topic for next week. Is a little bit of our conversation could lean towards what do you think's going on? Like, is it just more of them around the market so the price gets driven down because more are being sold? Or what do you think? I'll have to look into it, but it's
definitely.
It's definitely a time to buy. I'm seeing.
It is definitely becoming a buyer's market. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence the reason I got that Daredevil one.
There you go. Exactly. Your Daredevil.
There ain't no way I was buying a Daredevil one before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There ain't no way. But yeah, no, I will definitely make myself available as I can be, and
Yeah.
obviously work permitting as well as comics availability. Because do I have it? Cancel G-Force? No, never. Wouldn't want to cancel him.
Yeah.
We love G Daddy. Yeah, get Chris on too. That'd be good.
It's the only way to be sure.
Yeah.
All right, Chip. Thanks a lot for joining me. We'll talk
No
to you next
problem.
week if you're free.
That
Guys
sounds good.
in the chat, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you guys sitting in there with us talking about comics.
Yeah.
It's cool to see so many people in here talking comics with us. This is really good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, look
And,
forward to doing it again.
Yeah. All right, my friend. We'll see
Sounds
you.
good.
Bye, guys.
See you guys later. Have a good one.
Do I have something to play us out? Let's see. What do I got?
Monkey poo? Monkey poo.
I don't have a monkey poo.
Oh, okay.
I have a monkey eating.